What's up, guys? It is that Panda guy, and I'm here again with another video, and today we are going to be going through just some, G3 footage, and I do have a clip of me singing in here. It was literally, I usually always cut out my audio, but this one I thought I would bless you guys with my Michael Jackson singing skills. If you guys don't like it, blame Taco. I was just doing it one day, and I saw the clip and I thought it was funny. So I hope you guys enjoy that, and let's get into it. So I will talk a bit about what was happening, honestly, and some of the stuff that we could have probably improved on to have done a better job. So first off, we were attacking, rallying this thing. I do want to thank Vin as well as Fox. They did an amazing job at helping assist us, with field control. Doom as well, though I think Doom was a bit more preoccupied trying to push from the side. But Vin and Fox were doing a good job. They were helping us by maintaining field control. I will say that we were doing pretty bad trades. I did learn after our last video, for example. I had been thinking about it and I was like, dang, why am I running the infantry rallies? We have way, better people suited for infantry rallies, and we were trying that. Nine tried a range rally, and I think he had better trades on this one, but we do actually stick to infantry, and I will tell you guys the reason. So I do end up having, to get Nine to run it because, although Impushy also is a pretty strong player and better than me actually when it comes to her infantry technology, she is weaker than Nine, whereas Nine does have T6 unlocked. So it just made more sense, and we were testing around with a few heroes, and we did notice that the range rally was the closest to trading positive. But the one big issue that we found, and what you're going to see here is we run a Dut/Peterson. And the thing is, we are struggling to keep this thing full. We're going to be holding this thing for however long we do. And it is honestly a struggle. So what happens is we end up having, him run a Dut and Peterson, and we just try to keep that full. But the thing is, compared to range, right? Whereas, infantry is strong in general, I think the issue is like with range, they have a lower HP and defense compared to like infantry, for example, right? Whereas although they do have a higher attack, meaning that you're going to be killing a lot more troops with range in a shorter period of time, as well as the fact that this is infantry defending, meaning that if we do send range rallies, we will be countering them for the most part. The one big issue is that we aren't able to keep a range rally full forever, right? We don't have enough people to, keep that thing maintained, because honestly, the range just tanks way too much. That's one reason you see Peterson here keeping this thing healing, and meaning that we do have enough time to, refresh marches. And honestly, this is a struggle. I was basically cycling through 6 accounts, trying to constantly keep these things full. We were trying to maintain field control. The thing is, we were swarming any marches trying to make their way in here, but it still didn't do enough because this Peterson healing was insane. Like, I don't know if you guys saw right there, but honestly, they had a limited number of marches actually come in and fill like the village, but it was just so hard to melt that thing. That Peterson was healing infinitely, and it was so impossible to just put out enough damage to outdo the healing. So we were just with our backs against the walls, trading really negative. But honestly, we did what we had to do, and we eventually ended up, kind of pushing them out. You guys are going to see Doom kind of rallying over here. I do think they take this tower out, and what they do is they connect to the village, and then we can double rally. And I think at this time, a lot of 9AS were burning out. I think their tier 6 players were really holding them on for that village, but they just didn't have enough, lower tier people, or even just people in general who were able to run through the field and just make it into the village. And even if they did, it was just, I feel like they burnt out. All in all, they just weren't able to maintain what they were this whole time, because we just had vastly more troops than they did. And although we were trading negative in a lot of cases, they couldn't eat the costs, right? So we end up winning that. And, we start rallying towers around here, trying to get these bases off territory. And, they just didn't have enough people at this point in all these different towers. They kind of gave up near the front of their village. They decided it was like no point in defending it anymore. And, we are able to get easy rallies on these towers because they aren't able to keep them full. So, booyah. And then I think this base probably ports off, but honestly, guys, I was losing my sanity during this island raid. I ended up becoming busy at the very end of it. I will show one more video, I think, with Island within this bracket. But yeah, also, I feel our biggest issue, we ended up setting a range rally, by the way, because we didn't think that, and we weren't going to have a really long rally this time. We had a double rally set. I think the biggest issue that I definitely faced in this island and us as a whole was the coordination. Doom and us were struggling to coordinate rallies. We would set rallies together, and I feel like the rallies would come in minutes later. And, I don't say that to blame them, but all in all, it was definitely a struggle, and it was a little bit frustrating when that was the case. I think their village rally did coordinate a little bit better and a little bit faster. I'm assuming maybe like the problem might have been a march coming from far away or something, and then they ended up just having a long wait time. You got to make sure your rally leader is on that and able to send back troops that are taking their sweet time. But we do get this double rally off, and they aren't able to maintain this village, and we do finally freaking trade positive for once in our lives. Because, dude, I swear we were taking the butt end of every trade, unless it was like a base or an unmanned tower. We were definitely trading really negative, and it was just hard. But we did manage to take this out, and like I said, we weren't gonna have as long of a rally as before, where I think we ran like 3 hours of rallying with 9, or like 2 hours. This one only lasted for maybe 20-30 minutes, I'm guessing. It wasn't like super long. And I mean, like, the second these guys try to run through the field, they just start getting their marches swarmed. By the time they do make it in the village, their march is either half dead or just fully dead, and they were just eating those healing this healing cost. It was really painful to make it to the village. So, especially for the average player, I do want to mention, because although a tier 6 player can tank a lot of the damage and maybe make it there with like 1/3, or even sorry, 2/3, or even like 3/4 of their march to the thing. Although like they could do that, they were still eating really bad healing costs. But yeah, we do manage to take this, and basically what happens is Doom actually hands it over to us, because the thing is, we would have to build around it to connect to the towers, and then we just ended up taking that, and so we could rally these towers together with Doom, because a village is considered a part of your territory, and Doom was already built around the village to the point where they could rally towers that were connected to the helipad. So this made everybody's job easier. Just a little bit of thinking can go a far way. Also, I swarmed this tower because I noticed the garrison captain was not weak, but weaker. And it was also Lee, meaning that it wasn't really like someone good at taking swarms, like very bad for, counter damage and all that. Maybe the AoE was like its brightest point, but definitely not enough to hold on. And we end up getting pretty nasty trades on this tower, and you guys are going to see the reports in a second. Also, I'm going to be singing soon. You guys can enjoy that. And also, guys, I do know that I didn't mention Vin and Fox in our recent videos a lot, but I do want to mention that I really appreciate the effort they put in for us. They were really good allies, and they held true to their agreements. So thank you guys, and you guys can enjoy this little glorious singing moment from me. I don't know why I've had like that song in my head for the last few days. Put your hand on my shoulder. One. Da 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 da, baby. Also, for anybody cringing from that, I first want to mention that I said hand and not even head. I got the freaking lyrics wrong. And two, if anybody enjoyed just I don't know, if you guys think those kind of things are just funny, let me know, and I could cut out audio sometimes, because I'm not really noticing when I'm recording. I just record and I just say whatever is on my mind sometimes. Like I will literally, I don't know, I will have to filter myself, but sometimes I do say some freaking wacky stuff, and I just always cut out my audio. So if you guys enjoy that stuff, do let me know. That'd be pretty cool to add to videos. I think it'd just be pretty funny, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird, guys, but that is just me. Also, I think the biggest issue about this tower here is these guys aren't able to keep it full. They just don't have enough people at this point. I think a lot of people just started backing up to helipad and giving up on defense. And, at that point, when you're not able to keep this thing full, and you only have like 1, 2, 3 people keeping this tower full, they are just taking disgusting trades, and it is not really worth it. And I think we traded pretty decent on this tower. Probably less than we would actually like, since we were rallying so long before like the other rally hit, or just this thing melted. But I do think that we traded pretty good. Obviously, as attackers, the kill death ratio is worse. You guys, I think, are going to see us kind of even on the death ratio, but the injury ratio is much better in our favor. So I mean, I think that was a win of sorts. Though, I mean, when you consider how much of a beating we took earlier, it's hard to say. It's definitely a hard one. But finally, the towers have dropped, and now these bases are going kapooey. I do not want these guys filling any rallies on me. I don't want them filling any towers on me. They are being put down, and we are not accepting this. Also, I think we swarm quite a few bases, though. I mean, a lot of them had started teleporting up to helipad, so we didn't get a lot of bases, but we did get some juicy ones down here. Of course, with a double hospital capacity, they're a lot less dead, so I don't think these guys took too bad of trades. I mean, like, they were eating our troops, but honestly, it still hurts to recover from these type of things, you know, and I do feel bad when zeroing bases sometimes, but this is war, and, you know, it is what it is, so, I mean, what can you do? Sometimes we have to make these hard decisions. Though you guys can enjoy these battle reports right here where I'm freaking slaughtering my troops as well as theirs. You know, I definitely burned through quite a few troops. I think I lost up to at least 1 million in this event, and probably more so after, because, you know, although we got like 65% returned at the end of the event, there were still some left on helipad, and we ended up deciding to zero some. And I definitely lost. I think I lost like at least 5 million might. I think 7 million might, just zero on those bases. Pretty disgusting, especially when you consider that 7 million might. I get zero returns from that, so that was actually a little bit painful. But I was definitely in it to win it, you know. So we went for those bases and we ate some losses. But you know what? At the end of the day, I had my adrenaline pumping, so I don't even mind. Also, you guys see here, I started running out of troops. I ran out of my archers. I finally have T6 archers. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but I finally have T6 range. I say archers. Also, Shelby is a champ, man. So I won't recommend this if someone has like an AoE hero that can hit your marches when you're by, but they were only using Tom and Regro. So basically what you're going to see Shelby do is he's going to tap back and forth all around this tower. And what he's trying to do, I think, is trying to prevent them from clicking on the tower. So when they go to click on the tower and reinforce it, they're clicking on his marches instead. And what this does is either it slows people down or just forces you to kind of zoom out on the map to actually hit reinforce on the tower. Because, you know, if you guys don't know, the way to kind of get around that is zooming out in the map, and you will get like a, you know, the tower will be smaller. That, or you could go into your alliance menu, and if it's a rally, it will show up on your battle page, and you can just hit the reinforcement option and throw your troops from there. But you guys kind of get the point. Shelby was being a menace, and you guys are gonna see him freaking tapping around this tower like just he's happy-go-lucky in a second. It was pretty funny to me. I don't know, maybe that's just how I feel, but I think it was pretty funny. And I think Doom was actually trying to double rally this with us. I'm not 100% sure, but this double rally was taking kind of a while to actually reach. I also want to mention something that I really noticed during all this. Honestly, although I think running range rallies worked, I want to say that riders are probably more preferred in this type of situation. And a big reason being, for example, infantry are used more for defense. You will see this a lot in G1, and I've seen this a lot in G1, but infantry are more like viable for defense in any case. They are just more suited for it. Range are in the in-between area. I wouldn't mind using them on defense, and I wouldn't mind using them on attack either. And the thing with you know, riders is I don't really think I'd ever use them on defense unless that was my last, you know, case, like if in case I had to do it. So I've seen a lot of people in G1, for example, running rider rallies. And rider rallies, you know, just to throw your riders away because they are the most useless when it comes to like defense or something. Also, another thing I want to mention is the fact that we are running a range rally. And if you guys don't notice this, but when I went through the reports, I noticed that since I had Lewis as an AoE hero, if I am going to run range rallies and double rallies at that, I would have to actually throw out Lewis and maybe use like Chun and Maya or something like that if I was going to do a range rally. And the big reason is we are actually hitting our allies with AoE, and we started hitting, you know, I noticed that, but we started actually damaging Doom's rally, which was kind of crazy to me since I actually didn't think that would happen. But, you know, using single target heroes is probably better if you're going to be running double rallies with an alliance, right? Because I guess since you're hitting the same target, you might be considered hostile to each other, which is a little weird to me, but it is what it is, and it's a stupid thing to me, but that is something to note. You know, be mindful of that when you're actually fighting with your allies. That AoE is going to be affecting them. Also, I saw a weak garrison captain on loose here, and I wanted some T6 kills. You know, I'm freaking looking weak over here, guys. So I went in and I sacrificed a good chunk of my troops for some tier 6 kills, and we we feasted, and this other dude gets zeroed in the left as well. I think he had at least maybe a 6 million might drop, if not more. The dude in the corner, I don't really look at him much, but Doom is swarming him, and I think there was another dude that might have gotten swarmed. But yeah, this was the last tower connected to helipad, and we took it down. But yeah, you guys, this is not the end of the little series, by the way. I will end it here, but we do end up having a little comeback fight from 9AS, and I did miss a lot of the footage since I was out with my parents actually, and it was Easter day, but I do have some footage from that, and I will kind of give you guys a little run through of how that went. So you guys have an amazing day or night. Also, I have some G2 footage for you guys, so look forward to that. I just had a little bit of snippets from around G2 you guys can enjoy. So maybe 2 more PvP videos, and I will try to get all my info videos back out. You guys have an amazing day or night though. And that is the end of the video. I appreciate you guys as always for watching. And you guys, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. So peace out.